Let's make some South Indian dosa from the Blue Mountains, Ontario, Canada. Welcome back to the Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show, where we make plant-based cooking easy. I'm Jill, and today we are going to make dosa, which is a South Indian savory crepe. It's a fermented crepe, which is so delicious because when we had our stay in Toronto, we went to this restaurant called Dosa Mahal, and they had the most amazing dosa and all of their different little side dishes that you can dip your dosa or dip your dosa in. Just amazing. But the dosa came out and it was as big as my arm. It was huge. And they had stuffed it with a spicy mashed potato mix, which was just delicious. But I think I like it better even just dipping it in these little sauces that they had that are like really spicy. Oh, amazing. So we are going to do that today. And all of our pantry staples today are from our partner company, Essential Organics, who carry over 600 organic products. So if you want to check them out, you can use the code PLANTBASEDEASY at checkout for 10% off your order. All right, for this recipe, what you're going to need, first of all, is our dal. This happens to be mung dal, but typically they use urad dal, U-R-A-D, but you could also use chana dal. And it kind of just depends on whatever one you can get at your local grocer. So go to the international aisle or even the dry beans section and look and see what they have. Any three of those will work fine. They just create a slightly different taste and texture, but they're all delicious. So today we have the mung dal, and these are a bit smaller bean than the other ones, but they still work just the same. And then for the rice, you're going to need a short grain rice, like a sushi rice. It's perfect because it creates kind of a gelatinous texture, which is kind of what you need to get this to stick all together. And when you roll your dosa, it doesn't crack apart and get really dry. It keeps it really moist on the inside. Basmati rice works, but not quite as well because this is a fermented food. And the basmati rice, for some reason, doesn't ferment as well as these rices do. And you want that tart, that's kind of the signature flavor. It's got this tartness to it from the fermentation process. So how you're going to start this, you're going to start with half a cup of your dal, and you're going to rinse it really well first. And then you're going to put it in a bowl and cover it with water to steep or to soak overnight. And you're going to do the same with your rice. Rinse it, stick it in a bowl, cover it with water, and soak it overnight. But you want to keep them separate because we have to blend them separately. They have a little bit different texture to the blend that you want to make this work right. So that's what we're going to do. First, these I already had soaking overnight. So we are going to drain them off into this bowl. You want to just drain all the liquid off. And then we're going to add new liquid to blend it. This is just draining off all of those starches. Okay. And then you're going to do the same with your rice. And you could do this with a sieve too, it doesn't matter. You just want to drain off all of that liquid. Okay, now I'm going to grab my blender and I'll show you how these have to be blended to work properly. There's no denying the plant-based diet is a nutrient powerhouse, but did you know there are a handful of hard-to-get nutrients even well-crafted diets are often lacking? The latest research suggests that complementing your diet with a few specific vitamins, minerals, and omega-3s will help boost your energy and keep you thriving for the long term. That's why my daily health routine includes Complement Essential. Complement Essential contains the 8 critical nutrients lacking from most plant-based diets in dosages optimized specifically for us. As a special discount for our viewers, just use code PLANTBASEDEASY at checkout to save 15% off of your order. All right, now we're ready to blend. And the one thing I forgot to tell you is you need a half teaspoon of fenugreek, and I just usually put it in with the bean or with the dal to soak overnight. So make sure you get that in there. If you forget it like I did, it's always okay to add it to the blending time too. That's fine too. All right, so to blend, you're gonna need a specific amount of water for each one. So we are gonna start with the dal. Add that to our blender cup here. And I'm just using my NutriBullet today. You can use whatever blender you have. They will all work just great, but this seems to be about the perfect size for this amount. And then for this, you're gonna need 1 cup of water. Okay, so to blend these, you're gonna wanna blend this until it's really nice and smooth. So you're gonna blend for probably, I would say about 30 seconds or so. And then we're gonna pour it into a bowl. Now you need a bowl big enough to handle both of these because we're gonna be pouring them together. It's really better to probably have this size of bowl right here, but this will do for today. Just make sure you have a big enough bowl so that you're not overflowing your bowl. Okay, so just pour this into your bowl. And we don't need to rinse this out for the next part. We're gonna blend our rice. Just use the same container. So get your rice in there. And for the rice, you're only gonna need a 1/2 cup of water. And the blend on the rice is a little bit different. You're just gonna do a bit rougher, grainy grind. So you're not gonna blend it as long because the beans need to be really, really super creamy, because if you don't get them blended well enough, you're gonna feel the grit of them. But the rice needs to be a little bit chunkier because it adds to some of the crispiness of the dosa. So just a rough blend. So I probably blended about half the time, 10 to 15 seconds only. Okay, and that's gonna go into the same bowl because the next part is the fermentation process. So you'll want to stir this together. Make sure it's really well mixed. And then you're gonna cover it with a towel. And you're just gonna leave it on the countertop, not in the refrigerator, on the countertop. You want it to be in just room temperature overnight or for about 12 hours. And it's gonna start to bubble a little bit. That's the fermentation process happening. So it's going to look like we have a finished one over here that I've already had fermenting overnight. So this is the consistency that you're looking for and kind of the bubbliness. And then the consistency is kind of like a runny pancake batter. So that is that. We're going to put the towel on this and let it sit. All right, now that we have our batter fermented, we're gonna head over to the griddle and I'll show you how to cook. All right, so before we hop onto our griddle, I wanted to check in on our sprouts. These are our broccoli sprouts again at this is about day 3, I think. So they're just about ready. And this is our sprouting thing from the sprouting company, our kit from the sprouting company, which has been great to have, especially while we're on the road, so that we can eat super healthily and add sprouts to every meal. It's such a great thing. So if you want to get a kit like this, you can use the code PLANTBASEDEASY at checkout for 10% off your order, and we'll give you a link in the description below. Okay, so now we're ready to cook. I'm using my well-seasoned cast iron skillet for this. And you could also, if you want to salt it a little bit at this point, that's completely up to you, but you can do it without salt too. It's perfectly fine because it already has this really tart flavor. So I don't feel like you really need the salt in there. All right, so what you're gonna do, you're gonna need some kind of ladle, because that's gonna be what you pour it on there, and then you're gonna stir it around in a circle. And just like pancakes, your first one's probably gonna be a disaster. It took me forever to master this thing, so don't worry if your first one turns out terrible. It probably will, and you'll just start over. Don't get frustrated. Once you get the knack of it, then you'll have it, and it'll be perfect. All right, so we're gonna go with our first one here, and you need to have this on a medium-high temperature. All right. So you're going to pour it in the center, and then you're going to ladle it outwards. I'll show you here. Kind of like when you're spreading sauce on a pizza. And you want to get it pretty thin because that's what's going to make it that crispy texture. And you can make them as small or as big as you want. It's kind of according to the size of pan that you have. But once you get that on there and you stir it around like this, leave it alone, don't touch it. So you're gonna know it's ready to flip. When you watch these edges, they're gonna get a little bit darker, and it's gonna put off some steam here. And then you'll flip it. You don't have to cook the other side, but I like to cook the other side just to make it a little bit crispy also on the other side. So once we get to that point, I'll show you. And just like I told you, I did my first one and it completely stuck. So I started over, I re-seasoned my pan again. Just take some patience. All right, so let's try this again. All right. All right, now we just let it sit. Okay, we're just about ready to flip. I see the outside's getting a little bit brown here, but before I do that, you want to just make as many as you're going to eat with your meal because they don't really store well already cooked in the refrigerator. So you can do that, and whatever batter you have left, just seal it, put a lid on it or something and put it back in the fridge, and it'll be okay for about a week and a half, but you're going to use it up before then because they're so delicious. All right, so on to the flipping. There we go, that's what we're looking for. So flip it over and just let it cook a little bit just to brown that other side. So I'm gonna finish up making a few of these and then I'll meet you at the table for a taste. All right, let's go in for a taste. If you wanna come in and take a look at these little guys. Oh, you hear that crunch? It's a little crispy on the outside. And I'm gonna eat it today with my red lentil vegetable soup. But you could eat it with any kind of Indian sauce or chutney that you would like. You can experiment with those, but I like it with my lentil soup. So here we go. Honestly, I could just eat these for a meal. They're so delicious and kind of tart, a little crispy. The inside's a little bit soft and chewy. You're gonna love it. Come on back next week for another great recipe.